I was telling them about the story of Gideon. And I told them, I said, sometimes we get caught up in numbers. We get caught up in how much support we got, how many supporters we got, how many this person liking, commenting, and sharing, and everything else, right? We get so caught up in the hype of it all that's when we start looking at the thing, right? Gideon started out with 32,000 soldiers, right? Had 32,000. Gideon's chest was poked all out. He just knew that he was going to make it. Why? I got 32,000 soldiers. I ain't got to be worried about nothing. I'm ready to go right now. TTG, right? Until God say what? Less is more. Sometimes you be thinking that you need a room full of folk. You need a whole cathedral or something like that. And God's like, nah, that's too much. That's too much. I need you to go ahead and I need you to take some of that right there down. Right? So then he tell them, that's too many people. He said, do me a favor. Ask them who all scared out of that 32,000 that you got. You can go read about it. This is the book. I told you, I was with Jesus, not me. So now, when this happened, he did that. He said, who all scared? Because if you're scared, go ahead home. Right? He lost 22,000. You'll be amazed how many people that's standing right next to you right now, they scared. Yeah. Putting on a finesse, facade, pretending that they really like that, but they really and truly not like that. When the rubber hit the road, they won't be nowhere to be found. Soon as your name get mentioned in a room, they won't even stand up for you. They won't even defend your honor. Understand, they're scared. They got a whole problem out there. He said, well, ask them who are all these is trained warriors, right? You got all these people out here with you. And just because they are in your circle don't mean that they're in your corner. All right. Understand that. 22,000, they gone. Then you're down to what? 10,000. He said you got 10,000 of them. So now he's still feeling a little bit confident. Because I'm still up in the thousands. So I'm still that guy. He said, no, he still got too many. Take it down from 10,000 all the way to 300. He's like, what? You want me to go out there with all these trained folk? With 300? I just want to tell you why you had to send it with a praise. You got all these trained fighters out here with me, and you want me to get up and go out here with 300? It's 3 different armies that I'm about to be fighting against. They done joined up against me. I got haters that's hating me, that's been joined teams to hate me together. I'm getting surrogate hated. And you still want me to go out here? The importance of confirmation. I'm just riding off of what she did. Just because, pay attention, just because you are afraid does not mean that you're not a winner. Because you can be afraid and you can still win. All right. That's the one right there. I'm through. You can be afraid and you can still win. And you say, well, wait a minute. Why do you say that? Because of your ability to still have your will connected to the God, connected to God. When you over there and you're like, what, even though I'm afraid, because I don't feel, my fear is a representation of the fact that I know I can't do it in my own strength. Come on. You have to know the difference in the fear. It's 2 types of fear. You have fear saying, I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid of you. I'm intimidated by you. I feel a way about you. And then you have a fear to say, I know that I can't do it, but I know who can. So even though I'm afraid in my physical body, spiritually, I know that no weapon formed against me is going to prosper. Spiritually, I know who holds me. So I know who I am and I know whose I am. So I don't have to be afraid when I'm connected to this one. So even with a face full of tears, even crawling on my belly, even one leg in a kickstand, even if I gotta go, what my grandmama would say, if I got to go by myself, confirmation. He said, if you read it, if you are afraid, go down to the camp. He didn't say, if you are afraid, I'm not going to do it for you. He didn't say, if you are afraid, then you just go on back with the other soldiers that was afraid. Why? Because when God has called you, he will qualify you. You don't have to be qualified. He qualifies you. So when you say you ain't got to have all your ducks in a row. You ain't got to fully understand the assignment. You don't have to know all the ins and outs of everything for God to do what he's going to do in your life. You just have to have a willing heart. You just have to be in a position in your life where you're saying that I'm willing to give up my will for yours. I will decrease so you can increase in my life. I will remove my mindset and take on your mindset. That's where I'm at in my life. If that's the case, he said, Gideon, go down to the camp. Let's not play like we don't be real. This ain't the second time he done had to talk to Gideon. The first time he talked to Gideon, he told Gideon, Gideon said, I'm the weakest in the tribe. And I come from the weakest tribe. He went into the forest and he overheard the angel. And the angel said, mighty warrior. And he gained strength from that confirmation. Right? That's number one. This particular time he's hearing the voice of God. And he says, go into the camp. When he goes to the camp, he overhears the people talking about what? They're talking about the victory that their God, the God of Abraham, is about to deliver unto who? Gideon. So once he gets down there, he gets the confirmation that he needed to know that the win was already what? It's a fixed fight. You ain't doing nothing but showing up. He said the battle ain't yours.
There you go.
It was fixed for Gideon. It's fixed for you. He get down there. He overheard this, and he comes back. When you read the story, it don't say he grabbed the sword. It doesn't say that they started grabbing up weapons. They grabbed trumpets. They grabbed jars. Trumpets and jars. They won. The reason why we put it in there and I said give them a praise is because they won their war with praise. They won their war with praise. They went down there, they started blowing the horns, dashing the jars. That's how they won their war. And the moment that you start going over there of telling God, I give you my will, I release these things, I take on this from you, I release that from me, then I'm aligning myself with you. So now I'm going to give you the praise. Why? Because it's already done.
It's already done.
So he comes back. Right? He tells them, they get their stuff together. They're doing all of that. They do all of that while they're down there. They start, what happened? That praise confused the enemy. The praise messed around and started confusing the enemy. They forgot that they were supposed to be fighting Gideon now. And they turned on each other. Now they down there. Y'all ain't practiced for this war at all. You know what I'm saying? But that's the power. That's the power of God.
That's right.
Understand that. So a lot of times when we're out here and we're whining and crying and worrying about things of this life, all of that we're doing it for absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
We over there, we're stressing life, and we're stressing life for no reason at all because he's saying the battle is already won. I've already done exactly what I'm going to do in your life. And the beautiful thing about it is, if you don't have it, it's because you don't need it. Let's be real. Y'all know I believe in motivation with inspiration. Y'all know I believe in tying the two. Okay? The motivation is you don't need it. The inspirational part of that is he said that his word that I'm not going to give you all your wants. I'm going to give you all your needs. He said, I will supply all of your needs. He never said I was going to give you everything that you wanted. And we get it confused because if we don't start getting the things that we want, we feel neglected by God. We start to feel like he's not doing exactly what he said that he was going to do. But he's saying, if I gave you all of your wants, then guess what? You would destroy yourself. If I gave you everything that you wanted, understand that you would feel entitled. You would have that mindset that Gideon had in the very beginning, which was what? You were thinking that you're doing it outside of yourself. I keep you in a place where you're humble, where you know that I get exalted, I get the honor, I get the praise. It's not about understanding that you are not bigger than me. And everywhere that I go, everywhere you go, I'm sending you. Everything that you're called to do, everything I tell you to go and do, you're already qualified to go out there and do. If you're going to take a note, number one is stop creating drama in your own life. You taking on stuff that ain't even yours. You worried about things that you ain't got to worry about. You stressing about things you ain't got no business stressing about. Stop creating drama in your own life. Well, Coach, how do I create drama in my own life? No, y'all better know it, chosen family. Why? Or your own disobedience. Disobedience creates drama in your life. It creates chaos in your life when you are disobedient. It's a fact. When you over there doing your own thing, your own way,
How you go?
you know that ain't the right thing to do, but that's just what you felt like doing in that moment. It just felt like, I just had a feeling. You have to get out of your feelings. I just had that feeling, so I just went ahead and done. And then when the consequence comes, I regret that, girl. I should have never called. I should have never went over there. Some had told me not to reach out to them, and I knew what else. You already knew that before it happened. And don't nothing annoy me like a person that already know exactly what it is that they're dealing with, but then they go and do it anyway, and then want to cry victim after it don't work out the way that it worked out. Like as if you didn't know that individual from the very beginning. You knew that they was a liar. Why would you expect truth? That's why were you expecting for them not to manipulate you? You are very much aware of the people that you deal with. You are not ignorant to this at all. You walk around and I got a good heart.
Come on, Coach. Come on, Coach. Tell the truth.
I ain't gonna be able to come back from Nashville. That good heart.
See how far I get you. What you said?
That good heart better come with some strong boundaries.
Come on, Coach.
It's okay to be a good person. It's okay to be a good person, period. But you can't give everybody your goodness. Because everybody don't deserve your goodness, right? And it's not that you go out and you treat people poorly. I treat people accordingly.
Come on, Coach. Just say it. Come on, Coach. Make it clear.
Yeah, that's red bean pen. Put that in there. That's a note right there, baby.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna treat you poorly, but I will treat you accordingly. Proper placement matters. Proper placement. Put people in the right places in your life. When you know who they are, and you take your expectations, your influences up off of them, you get to see who they really and truly are. Without you having to say something to them, without you having to call and remind them, after reassurance after reassurance, you can just see who they really and truly are at their core self. Because baby, some things I shouldn't have to remind you of. Some things I shouldn't have to call you back. Oh yeah, you shouldn't have to call you back and forth about that over and over. If it was important to you, then you would have remembered it. If it was special to you, then you would have been there for that thing. And then they get different with you, honey. When you jump, they get different. When you stop, when you friend. When you start going down, and they used to that. Oh, you ain't called me today. Oh, you must got somebody else. Oh, you ain't young. Oh, they be mad then. I'm not Tom nor Jerry. I'm not about to be running and chasing after you. Yeah, that time is over. The begging folk to do right. Going outside your way, having to hold adult hands. I'm not a CNA, ABC, whatever them folks is that take care of adults. That ain't my job. I did not sign that. I'm a speaker. Get get somebody to do it. The days are going out here babysitting grown adults. You have to be honest and tell people, really, you have to let them know, hey, go sit in the unhealed section.
Okay.
You are not dateable. When you still got trust issues, when you still got generational curses, broken behavior, things that you're dealing with in life, things that still tormenting you, you are not dateable. Why? Because your healing is not my responsibility. And what will happen is, if I connect myself or allow you to become a leech in my life, you're going to be a distraction to me. You won't become a liability to me.
Yeah. Come on now.
Right? Your irresponsibility becomes my responsibility.
That's right.
Why? Because you connected to me.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then have the audacity to try to be mad. Stop creating drama in your own life. Like for real, we notice these things, we ooh and ah these things, we speak on these things, and then we turn right back around and do these things.
Yeah. And wonder why.
When is it gonna stop? Right? When is it? You have to, nobody can stop it but you. Nobody can change it but you. Nobody can do anything about that but you. It has to be something that you want for your own life. You have to look at yourself and know that, you know what? I'm deserving of good, healthy relationships. I'm deserving of being connected to people that's able to reciprocate, that can pick up what it is that I put down. I'm deserving of being in dealing with folk that's able to come through for me the same way I come through for them. That's willing to do what go the extent that I'm willing to go, they're willing to go to that same extent. And if not, baby, it just ain't for me. I ain't saying you can't be for sister so-and-so, they like that. Yeah, just not for me. Number 2, stop getting comfortable and struggle.
Okay.
Because that's a for sure sign of that's exactly what you're doing. What are you saying, Coach? Red ink pen? No, you're becoming a glutton for pain. You don't want it if it don't hurt. Something about this just don't feel right. It's just it's something about this. Yeah, they can help. Yeah, you look for the bad in everything. Look for the bad in everything. Right? They come on that. Oh, girl. You knew that already. You already knew. You becoming a glutton for pain when you know better, but you go your own way. You know that it's not right for you, but you go your own way. And you're hoping and praying that something good is going to come out of it, but they've already showed you who they were, what they were, how they show up in life. Now it's like you're a glutton for pain. Why? Because you keep going back to it. Why are you a glutton for pain? Because every time God gets you out that situation, you tiptoe your way back over there. So once He move you up out of here, you slide yourself back over there. Then some of you do the cha-cha-cha all the way back. Yeah, you slide yourself right back into the same situations that God has already moved you out. He's like, wait a minute. When are we going to be tired of dancing with this demon? When are we going to be tired of crying these same tears? When are we going to be tired of going back and forth with it? Almost like the Israel children of Israel. He said, man, I done brought y'all out the wilderness and y'all still whining and crying. I done brought y'all out and y'all still have the same mentality of slaves. I done brought you all the way out, but your mindset is still held in captivity. You done got comfortable in struggle. If it don't feel like struggle, you don't want it. If it don't hurt you a little bit, you don't want it. If it don't have, as some people would say on social media, if it ain't got a little bit of toxic, if it have a little bit of toxic attached to it, then you don't, I want somebody to put me in place. What place is that? Yeah. You know, that's because, you know, we get on social media and we just act like we ain't got God-given sense. Oh, I want me somebody to put me in my place. Love is a choice. And the moment that it's not a choice, then it's bondage. You should want somebody that's choosing you. You should want somebody that's waking up every day and deciding that they want to do life with you and life with you without force. What do you mean? Well, if you can't, no. If I don't know where I stand with you, I'm going to go stand by somebody else.
How about that?
You will be amazed how clear they start seeing where you is. It's like, y'all stop it. Spiritually messy, okay? You gotta get to that place where you stop getting comfortable in struggles, because what you're doing is you're turning a stage of your life into a state of your life, and you're staying in these positions way longer than what you really and truly should be. And a lot of times, even in those situations when we're talking about, even with the children of Israel, right? If you read in that story, you also had some of them that was praying to God and they was asking God, can you help me be a better slave? Can you imagine how broken, how damaged that you really gotta be to be praying and asking God to help you become a better slave? That's what the children of Israel, that's what they were praying. Why? Because we don't see no way out of this. No matter what it is that I do, no matter where I turn, I find myself in this broken state. Do you know how bad that is to get to the point in your life where you feel like, oh, well, I just got to settle for what I can get? Because that's the type of mentality, right? When you can't see yourself out of that situation, when you don't think that there's no way for you to get out of a situation, if you always find yourself in the same type of situation, then your prayer life will shift. Whether you know it or not, this is eye-opener today. This is free game right now. Understand that your prayers will shift because all of a sudden you will start to lie to yourself like, this is all we got. This is it. I've tried this, I've tried that, and it all comes back to right here. So what you do? You lower your standards. Because I can't get ain't nobody, what they tell y'all on the new podcast, everybody got a podcast. What they tell you on the podcast? Baby, I'm just talking about some people don't need one. He said, nobody will be able to give you everything that you need in life. Nobody will be able to be that one person that provides everything for you in life. And that's the reason why you have to have multiple. That's what, let me tell you what they say. And I thought that blew my mind. Then they have to learn to say, well, you have a lot of different friends. And you have friends in your life that have different jobs. And I said, okay, that's true, right? But you gotta know how I think, right? Deception only happens when there's a piece of the truth. Deception is not always going to have. That's right. Okay, there we go. You got it. Yeah. Deception is what? Distortion. Right? So all you need is a piece. So they make it sound like that's good. They make it sound like that's the right things. A friend of yours having multiple friends and having multiple lovers is completely different. But all of those things, I put everybody in a box: friendship, family ship, job ship, church ship, whatever ship that we on together. If the ship ain't shipping, I board all missions, okay? That's just how I roll. Understand? That's just it. That's how I go. But if you actually think about that deeply, if you were already all of those things to yourself,
there you go.
You wouldn't need that from nobody else. So the missing component to the podcast discussion is you shouldn't be looking for that in anybody else anyway. That should be things that you already provide for yourself. So everybody else in your life is a what? They're a bonus. Yeah, you're a bonus to my life. Exactly. People wake up different every day. Yes, and if you wake up tomorrow and you own something different, then I have to respect your choice. I have to respect your decision. You decided that you don't want to love me. I can't force you to love me. You decided that you ain't want to do the friendship. I can't force that friendship. I can't do that. Why? Because I'm no longer forcing myself into environments. I can't reduce who I am to sit with you. I can't reduce who I am to be cool with you. I can't reduce who I am to get along with you. You have to be willing in this journey right here. You got to be willing to go by yourself. You got to be willing to show up by yourself. You got to be willing to do the work that you need to do on yourself. And sometimes it's going to get hard. Sometimes it's going to get hard. Why would it get hard, Coach? Slow to a note, because the enemy's job is to break you. The enemy's job is to break you. Well, how does he do that then? Somebody just say, well, how he do that, Coach? The enemy breaks you by breaking what keeps you together. Somebody say, how How did he break you, coach?
How did he break you, coach?
The enemy breaks you by breaking what keeps you together. He finds your connection. So when sis come up and she says motivation, confirmation, we left out meditation. We just talked about that, right?
Yes, sir. Alignment.
Prayer is when you communicate with God. Meditation is when God communicates back to you. You have to get to that still, that quiet place, so that you can hear what he's saying to you, because you can't get your confirmation if you don't, you can't hear it because you're so distracted with what the enemy is doing in your life. So you have to have motivation. You have to have meditation, a time in which you sit and be still and be quiet to be able to hear from him. When you praying, you talking. You're not talking and listening at the same time. When you're talking to God. When you're in meditation, you're quiet. You're still. Nothing's moving. And God has the opportunity to speak back to you. But you don't get your confirmation from him because you can't hear him because you're so distracted by everything else. So in that moment, what happens is the enemy interrupts your transition, pulls you out of alignment, robs you. Right there. You just got licked.
Yes, you did. Free.
And you don't even know it until you need it. Come on. You don't know that you're distracted until you're fully distracted, and you go back and then you notice that you've been distracted. Till you get to that place in your life and you realize, how in the world I got here? How did you get here? You don't know how you even got into the situation that you're in. You didn't know that you was that distracted. You didn't know that you was that pulled off course because the enemy is cunning. And it's not running around on fire with a pitchfork. No.
No, okay.
It's the boo-boo, it's the bun-bun. It's the kids. It's day-to-day life. Different things. Oh, I'm so busy. No, you're not busy. You're distracted. Oh, well, I've been too busy to pray. No, you've been too distracted to pray. I'm too busy to read and I just can't. No, you've been too distracted to read, and that's exactly what the enemy wants you to be. Too distracted to pray, too distracted to read, too distracted to fast. So guess what? As long as you're not operating with that pressure plan, you need that much space, slide in, and now, because those three things, those are your pressure plan, right? So you got your pressure plan, and you're not working with that. You're not pushing that on a regular basis. You're not exercising that, which means now you're what? You're fatigued spiritually.
That's right. That's right.
You're fatigued spiritually. Anybody know when you get to that point where I just need something to drink, or just you're so thirsty that you drink from anybody?
Yes, sir.
And it's like hold on. So when she says, oh, you scroll up or you scroll over here, you go on there, and you automatically jump onto it, that's because you're thirsty. That's because you're thirsty. And because you haven't been operating, utilizing your pressure plan, right? You haven't strengthened your spirit of discernment. The spirit of discernment is going to tell you what's for you and what's not for you. Your spiritual discernment, your intuition, learning to trust yourself, to rely on you. Like I trust me. I know how my body feels when you come around. I know what I'm sensing. It might not be everything that you're doing, but you're doing something because I can feel it. I feel that energy coming up over you. It's something about you that upsets my spirit. It's something about you that's in conflict with the God. Come on, let's just be real about it. And a lot of times what happens is we don't know that because we're not exercising that.
That's right. That's right.
So in that moment, the enemy breaks your source, separates you from your source. So the enemy breaks you by breaking what keeps you together. So what he does is he finds everything that you do that keeps you motivated, that keeps you inspired, that keeps you uplifted, that keeps you upbeat and focusing in life. They find something wrong with it. You back in that group again. You going, wait a minute. You going back over there to do that again. All y'all do is pray. Y'all do that too much. Ain't that much praying in the world. Every Tuesday and Thursday. praying, but people do it. But we have to develop the mentality where we know that you're going to be tested, you're going to be tried. You're going to go through things in life. You're going to experience some hard stuff in life. And when you're experiencing these hard things in life, guess what you got to do? You got to know without a shadow of a doubt that, you know what, I know who holds me. I know who protects me. I know who protects me, who provides for me, who guides me on every level. Okay, I just want to say this to you right here. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13 says, no temptation has seized you except what is common to man. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you bear, but you will be tempted, but he will provide an escape so that you can stand up under it. Right. In other words, he said, I had to make sure I read the whole thing. You're going to be tempted. Yes. You're going to be tempted. You're going to be tried. You're going to have some experiences. You're going to go through some stuff that you feel like, oh, I didn't deserve that. But what he's saying is that I've already prepared an escape for you. And the escape I got for you, you ain't got to crawl up under this right here. You ain't got to crawl up under this. You're going to stand up under it in due time, right? But you're going to be tested. You're going to be tried. You're going to go through certain things in life. So stop thinking that this journey is going to be easy, because it's not. It's going to be hard. Serving God is not for the weak. It's not. Everywhere, all the time, you're going to experience something. But it's about changing the way you see that thing. Because if you look at a trial like a trial, if you look at it like this is hard, this is going to be hard, like ain't no coming out of this, then guess what? That undertone is negative, so you're going to get negative. But if you look at every trial, every obstacle, everything that you're going through in life, if you start to look at it as a test, then you will start to feel differently about the things that you're going through in life. You're going to start to feel different. When we first start living our life, right? We all was born in sin, shaped in iniquity. That's just us. Just empty. Right? Everybody in agreement, right? We just empty. We go through something in life. This is us. Starting out empty, we a baby, we don't know much of nothing, we still bumping our head and want to touch stuff that we ain't got no business touching, do stuff we ain't got no business doing, right? That's us. Some of us as adults still doing that. But this is us. We go through something. There goes some hurt, some pain going in there. Yeah, we got some people that have been molested, some people raped, some people beat. Some people just broken, down bad in one way or another, and life just keeps piling it on. Just piling it on. Just every time you turn around, y'all know how to say it, every time you turn around, it's something. Every time you turn around, it's something. And before you know it, you get to that point where you start to feel like, don't nothing ever go right. It's always something. I'm always crying about something. I'm always upset about something. You feel like I don't have nothing left. You almost, this all you got left in life. If we're going to be honest, just clap your hands real quick if you feel that's all I got left. I'm that close from falling apart. I'm that close from somebody asking me anything and just going all the way off. All I got, this is all that I got left. I don't have nothing else left, right? We be at this point and sometimes folks don't even know. They looking at you calling you lazy. They looking at you saying, oh yeah, you just don't want to do nothing with yourself. They don't know that in the last little bit of strength that you had, you used that to get up this morning. Yeah. Wow. They don't know that you're doing everything that you can possibly do with what's left in you to be able to keep breathing, to keep pushing forward every day. But they just looking from the outside. So that's all that they see, right? But once you get to this place in life and it's like, I'm that full, coach. So how am I going to fix that? I'm that full, like I don't have no room, I don't have no place for nothing to go. But this is how God operates. The more that you're working, you start working on yourself. You start pouring it in yourself. You start fasting. You start praying. Come on, coach. Hold on. And then all of a sudden, you start to see this. Come on, overflow. Hold on. You see this. And you like, coach, well, what does that mean? Now that I'm working on myself, it's like I'm starting to see things about myself. I'm starting to acknowledge, certain things about myself. I didn't know that I had this and I had that. Why? Because all of that was laying at the bottom at first. All of this is compartmentalized pain. All of it was down at the bottom at first. And because you wasn't working on yourself, it was just laying there dormant. It didn't have no action because you wasn't doing anything. So it's just sitting there. But the more that you started to pour into yourself, these things start to come up. All of a sudden now, it's not at the bottom. You're trying to figure out, down here, this God's word.
Yes, sir. I'm coming in. Intercede.
There you go. And all he's doing, he's pushing all of that stuff that you got up there. He like, you do know this got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So when you start seeing this stuff again, you're like, well, now I'm seeing things you're supposed to.
That's right. Exactly.
Now that old hurt is coming up, you're supposed to. Now that old pain that I compartmentalized what happened, you're supposed to. You got to do what did we do in the very beginning? You got to go through a release. You got to bring it up out of you. That's part of your awareness. Right? That's part of my awareness. So now, when I see the hurt and I see the pain, I'm not shocked. I'm not all over the place with it. I'm glad that I see this. Why? Because now that I see it, I know that I'm doing the work that I need to do because now it's coming back up. And this time, when it comes back up, remember what I told little mama? I said when it comes back up, one thing you got to know is you'll remember that it hurt, but you won't remember the pain. You won't remember.
Come on now.
Okay? So you keep going. And what eventually happens is this start doing this. It's a little heavy, so we're going to help it out. You pouring it, we got to help it out. So all of a sudden, what happens is that start to go. It's going to do an overflow. Because all of that got to come out you. All of that got to come up out of there. Right? All of that have got to come up out of there. You started out and you was empty. There was nothing. We use water because I believe in living water. I believe everything I do, y'all knows I like to use water. I like water. Water. All of that had to come up out of there so that you can create space for your new self. Everything had to come up out of there so that you can make room for the person that you were becoming. You're not even the same thing that you was before. All of that had to come up out of there, right? All of it had to come up. Everything that you compartmentalized, everything that you've been holding back, all the yesteryears, the yestertears, the pain and everything, all of that had to come up. But the thing about this right here is, the reason why I've got the glass, I know she was trying to figure out why she need that little case thing to go with it. I needed the case thing to go with it because of this. Let me show you what you do. God said, I done got you away from all of that. I got all of that up out of you. Right? You see how close in proximity it still is?
Yeah.
That old man is always close by.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Waiting on you to come back to that old life.
Yeah. The killer always come back to the
Waiting on you to come right back over there to get back in there. Oh, he's just laying down. Yeah, I'm on the outside. You say you changed. Yeah, I get it. You said you ain't that person no more. But it's always sitting over on the outside. And